Hey guys, welcome back to math class. Well, sort of. Okay, time for the solutions to worksheet 11-2. All right, volume of prisms and cylinders. All right, so the first question up gives us a rectangular prism. All right, meaning that the base is a rectangle. All right, and it has dimensions of 9 by 4. All right, so remember, rectangular prism or any kind of prism is going to be area of the base. We represent that with capital B. And we multiply that times the perpendicular height. Well, they give us the perpendicular height. It's that red dotted line from the perpendicular from one base to the other. So that's equal to 6. And then area of the base is just length times width because it's a rectangle. So 9 times 4 or 36. All right. So in this particular case, we are going to take the area of the base, which is 36, and we're going to multiply that times our perpendicular height, which is 6. So our final answer for this volume is going to be 216 cubic centimeters. All right, remember units for volume is cubic because we're doing 3 measurements, 3 units multiplied together. All right, so unit times unit times unit is unit cubed. All right, just need to type in 216 on Google Classroom worksheet. All right, but just for reference, the units would be centimeters cubed or cubic centimeters. Okay, second one is a hexagonal prism. All right, so it's a prism. It's got 2 polygon bases that are parallel or congruent in the shape of a hexagon. All right, and then it has parallelogram sides, 6 of them all the way around. All right, so it is a hexagonal prism. All right, so once again, prisms, we're going to find the area of the base. Okay, so volume is equals capital B, which is area of the base, times the perpendicular height, which is that perpendicular distance between the 2 bases. All right, so let's start off with the area of the base. The height they give us is 8, so we don't have to worry about that. And then they give us the length of one of these sides, right, is 6 meters, okay? So if this is 6, all right, then we know that we need to figure out the length of the apothem, all right? So area of the base for a regular polygon, remember, is 1/2 apothem times perimeter. Well, one side is equal to 6, so perimeter is going to be length of the side times how many sides there are. 6 sides times 6 centimeters for each side, or 6 meters for each side. So my perimeter is equal to 36. Now I just need to figure out the apothem, right? So remember, when we've got a hexagon, or a regular polygon, we want to divide that up into its central angles and then use our right triangle trig to solve for that. All right, so let me sketch that up real quick just so you understand what I'm talking about. Sorry about that. That was a really horrible hexagon. Let's try that again. There we go, close enough. All right, so remember, we're gonna go from the center and we're gonna go straight down. That's our apothem, perpendicular to one of the sides. Let's form a right triangle, okay? Remember, central angles are equal to 60, okay? We're gonna find our central angle and then half it to find this angle right here. So central angle is going to be equal to 360 divided by the number of sides. So in this case, my central angle is 60 degrees. That means that this angle is half that, so it's 30 degrees, okay? Excuse me, so let's go ahead and expand that out a little bit. All right, so here's our triangle. All right, that's 30, so that means this is 60, so I got a 30, 60, 90. This here, this whole side is 6, so that means that that little piece is 3. So that's my short leg is 3. I need to know the apothem, which in this case is going to be the long leg. So how do I get the long leg? Well, I multiply the short leg by the square root of 3. So the apothem is going to be equal to 3 times the square root of 3. All right. So now all we have to do is plug it into our volume equation and then solve. So volume is going to equal area of the base, which is 1/2, times A, which is, we just figured out is 3 square roots of 3, times perimeter, which we said is 36, times the perpendicular height, which they told us in the problem was equal to 8. Okay, so area of the base times the height. Now what I have to do is just plug it into the calculator and multiply it all together. So let's start off with the radical first, make our life easy. So we're just going to do square root of 3 times 3. Remember, it's all multiplication, so it doesn't matter what order you do it in. Times 1/2 times 36 and times 8. Now we can hit our equals key. So our final answer for the volume should have been rounded to 1 decimal place. So 748.2 was our final answer. All right, number 3 is a cylinder. All right, it's slanted to one side, but remember, it doesn't matter if it's slanted to one side. It still takes up the same amount of volume as if it was standing straight up. The only difference is we need to make sure that we're only working with perpendicular height. All right, so if it's slanted, we don't want to take the slanted height, we want the perpendicular height. So the diagram gives that to us, no big deal. It says the perpendicular height is equal to 10, and then the diameter, it shows us, of the base is equal to 12, all right? Now, just like with a prism, with a cylinder, we do area of the base times the height. So volume is equal to area of the base times the height. Well, in this case, area of the base, since it's a circle, the equation for that is pi r squared. So we're still doing area of the base, only difference is now we're using a circle instead of a regular polygon. All right, that means we need radius. So if the diameter is 12, hopefully you figured out by now that the radius is equal to 6. All right, now we have everything we need, and we just have to plug it in to the calculator and spit out an answer. All right, so volume is equal to area of the base, which is 6 squared times pi, or 36 pi. So 36 pi is capital B, area of the base. We'll leave the pi in there till the end to make sure our answer is as accurate as possible. And then we're going to multiply that by the perpendicular height, which is 10. Okay, so area of the base times the perpendicular height, and then that's going to give us our answer. So let's go ahead and put it into the calculator. So 36 times 10, hopefully you know, is 360, times, hit the pi key, equals, and we should have ended up with a final answer, if we're rounding to 1 decimal place, 1131.0, because we've got a 9 and then a 7 after it, so that 9 rounds up to the next whole number, so it should have been 1131.0. Okay, number 4, we got another cylinder here. This one is a regular cylinder. All right, it gives us everything that we need, so this one's pretty straightforward. So remember, volume is area of the base times the height. Okay, so area of the base is going to be pi r squared. In this case, they give us the radius, so radius is equal to 3, and then the height of the cylinder is going to be equal to 5. Okay, so then we just got to plug that in. All right, so volume is going to be area of the base, pi r squared. So 3 squared is 9 times pi, so area of the base is 9 pi, times the height, which in this case is 5. All right, so pretty easy. 9 times 5 is 45, and then I'm going to multiply that times the pi key, and I should get a final rounded answer of 104.5. 41.4. Okay, last up, we've got a composite figure. All right, so same as with the 2D composite figure, it works exactly the same. We are going to take the pieces, the volume of the different pieces, and then we're going to either add them together or subtract them together, right? In this case, we're gonna add them together because there's no holes or divots or anything in there. So we've got a rectangular prism on one piece, and then the other one, we've got a short cylinder. All right, so that's what it looks like there. Obviously it's not to scale, but you get the idea. So we're just gonna split them up. We'll do the rectangular prism first. All right, it gives us a height of 6. All right, it gives us a length of 14 and then a width of 12. So that's an easy one. So remember, volume for rectangular prism is area of the base, which is length times width, and then times the height. So length times width times height. In this case, I've got 12 times 14 times 6. All right, so when you put that into your calculator, 12 times 14 times 6, all right, I get a volume of 1,008, all right, cubic feet. All right, so there's my rectangle. Now I need to do my cylinder. It gives us the radius of the base, right? So volume is going to be pi r squared times the height of the cylinder. It tells us the height is equal to 4 and the radius is also equal to 4. So in this case, I'm going to do 4 squared for the radius times pi times 4 for the height, okay? So that is 16, and then times 4 is 64. So the volume of that cylinder is equal to 64 pi. All right, now I just need to add those together. So total volume for the composite figure is going to be 64 pi plus 1,008. All right, so we just put that into our calculator. So 64 times pi equals that. That's the cylinder, and then plus 1,008. And then I'm going to round that off to the nearest decimal point, and that's going to give me a total volume of 1,209.1. Okay? So hopefully, if you haven't already, go back through and enter in the correct answer so you get full credit for that assignment, and get that submitted so I can update your grades in Focus. All right, if you have any more specific questions or you're still confused, shoot me a message or email.